Man, I got excited the other day because someone told me that there was a brand new plasma reference monitor in stock. And I was like, what? I visited the store and yes, it was available to purchase. And what got me really excited about this was that we're talking about a reference monitor. So this is better than any TV available to consumers. And the technology of this plasma display was called neoplasma. And it is supposed to have a much better motion clarity than consumer plasma TVs because it is even able to refresh at 120 hertz. So it will be 1080p 120 hertz, but that might have 2 milliseconds of persistence. I would need to test that. And actually, I did my research, and the Blurbuster chief commented that yes, the motion clarity of that display was very good, but he didn't say on the comment that I read, he didn't say exactly the persistence. Maybe because he haven't been able to test that reference monitor. Back in the day, it was very expensive, but it was available on that store at $2,200. So, I mean, $2,200 for that brand new. I called the store. So this is what I did. I called the store and I was hoping that it was true, but they didn't have it available. They said that it's just an old listing that needs to be deleted. So I was like, man, I was disappointed, but at the same time I was like, I don't have to spend, because I was really thinking about it. So what I was gonna do was basically call them and say, hey, I have probably the only YouTube channel that is talking about plasma TVs, and if you still have those in stock, I will buy one from you, but give me a discount, because I'm going to give you free promotion. Basically, I'm going to make 100 videos about that plasma TV, so you have to give me a discount. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, you cannot charge me full price because I'm gonna bring you a lot of customers. And I know after I show you how good that is, I know some of you are going to want to buy that for sure. Imagine we're talking about fantastic colors, okay? And I'm going to have a list of all the plasma TVs. So basically, there was an AVS post, AVS forums. There was a post with a list of plasma TVs that can do 120 hertz. So I'm going to post that in the description. So if you can find one of those use in good conditions, jump on it. So basically, imagine that reference monitor, which beautiful colors, okay? Beautiful colors, good black levels. I'm not sure if those reference plasma monitors, I'm not sure if the black levels degrade over time like consumer plasma TVs do. The black levels, basically, they become worse and worse the more you use them. So I'm not sure if that's the case with a plasma reference monitor. But if you're buying it brand new, that's not an issue. So imagine beautiful colors, just absolutely like tremendous picture quality with very good black levels. Not OLED, okay? Nothing come close to perfect. Okay, you're either perfect or you're not. Okay, so it's not gonna have infinite contrast, perfect blacks, but very good black levels, fantastic color, vibrancy and saturation, especially the incandescent nature of the plasma technology is something beautiful to me. Okay, and now on top of that, imagine 2 milliseconds of persistence at 120 FPS. Okay, so that plasma reference monitor supports, like, officially 60 hertz. And at 60 hertz, based on my testing with this, mediocre consumer plasma TV, it should have 4 milliseconds of persistence at least. Okay, at least. So 4 milliseconds of persistence at 60 FPS, that means that you're playing your game and it looks like 240. Okay, but now because that reference monitor has this neoplasma technology, what that means is that you're not going to get crosstalk. You're not going to get that limitation that I was talking about, which was basically the motion clarity breaks. If you go too fast, if you do this, the motion clarity just breaks. You need to pan the camera slowly. So imagine that this neoplasma technology would be like, it would have much better motion clarity and it wouldn't have that limitation. So literally every single game that you can play at 60 FPS, you get a 240 FPS like experience with fantastic colors, brightness, black levels. Wow. And if you're concerned about 1080p, you just use, on the PC, you can use NVIDIA DLSR, Deep Learning Super Resolution. And that comes with a sharpness slider that you can reduce to get more sharpness and less anti-aliasing, because the plasma technology has like a natural anti-aliasing. I've talked about that in the past. So man, I really wanted to get that display. So I was hoping to call them, speak with a manager or someone, or get the email at least or something, and that they would send it to me. I was willing to pay $1,500, even $2,000 if I would be like, okay, $2,000, yeah, give it to me. Because I know that has so much value. I mean, a brand new plasma reference monitor, I mean, right now, that has so much value just as it's just a treasure. Right now, that's a treasure. It's like a CRTs that are selling for $6,000. They are treasures at this point. So I got really excited, but yeah, they are not in stock. So I did the same thing with another store. So I saw that also in another store, it was in stock. I called them, the same thing. No, it's an old listing that we need to delete. It is not available anymore. I was like, oh man. But yeah, I still try to search it online, and I couldn't find any. And I heard from Classitech Calibrations that he tested a plasma reference monitor for calibration, and he said, no, it is not worth to get those used, because he said the one that I tested was like 80 nits or something. I don't remember exactly. It was like full screen, it was like 80 or 60 nits, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. But he was basically saying that at this point, those reference monitors have been used too much, and they are not in good condition. It's almost impossible to find one of those in good conditions, because who is going to buy a reference monitor and not use it heavily? So at this point, those reference monitors are from 2012, maybe 2013 or 11. That's like almost 10 years or more. So they are heavily used plasma TV that long. It's not going to hold. It's a fragile technology basically. But brand new, man. Oh man, I got excited. I got excited about that. So yeah, I'm going to post in the description of the video the list of the plasma TVs that are supposed to be able to push 120 hertz. So they would be capable of 1080p, 120 hertz, and if you find them brand new in stock, call and see if they are actually available, and let me know. Okay, don't post links. Maybe tell me the name of the store, because if you post the link, YouTube is going to delete your comment. But tell me the name of the store, the model of the plasma TV, and let's see if we can find one. I would be willing to pay. Luckily, I can pay $1,000 brand new. I would happily pay $1,000 for a reference monitor that's plasma TV. Happily. I mean, no question on my mind. Where do I buy that? $1,000. No questions asked. Okay. But to go up to 1,500, it needs to be one of the best. Really, really one of the best. It needs to be brand new. And for me to pay $2,000, it has to be the best. Okay, and I'm not gonna find that. It has to really be the best, which I think it is. If I remember, is the VX 300, and that's like 65 inches, 60 or 65 inches. I don't remember. It supports 3D. Ooh, 3D, fantastic colors and motion clarity. Yeah, good accuracy. Is a reference monitor. Great black levels, colors. I mean, wow. So, yeah, man, let me know, man. Let me know. I'm sure most people would not be interested in this, but if you're an enthusiast, I mean, I want to have, at some point, I want to have all the technologies. I want to have a dual layer LCD reference monitor. I want to have that. I want to have, the best plasma TV ever made. And hopefully I can get it on the best conditions possible. I want to have multiple CRTs, the best of the best. I want to have those for sure. The biggest and the best CRTs I can get. And of course, I will have all the new technologies, QD OLED, WRGB OLED, and why not a very good LCD with a lot of brightness. Like if they do a 10,000 nits LCD with good blooming control, I might consider that. But the problem with LCDs and gaming is that to get those perfect blacks, you need the dimming zones, and these algorithms increase latency. So when you're using that for gaming, it's not gonna be a good experience. The great thing about these self-emissive displays is that you get good latency. So the latency of that plasma is not gonna be fantastic, but it is 120. So if you can do 120 hertz 1080p, that's going to feel responsive, and the motion clarity should be very good. I mean, 2 milliseconds we're talking about. I'm not sure. I would need to test that. But if those new Neo plasma TVs can be 2 milliseconds, what that means is that it looks like 480 FPS. Okay, so imagine you're playing your games at 120 FPS, and they look like 480 FPS. Okay, that's no joke. That is CRT territory. Okay, a lot of CRTs have 2 milliseconds of persistence, not one. Actually, the FW900, I believe, it has been reported to have less motion clarity than some of the crappier CRTs. I believe it might have 2 milliseconds, but I'm not sure. I would need to test it. So yeah, let me know if you can find a brand new plasma TV, and what do you think about it? What's your thoughts and opinions about that? Reference monitor plasma TV for gaming in 2023. I am also a big fan of 3D. So those plasma TVs, they have 3D and very good 3D. So because of the motion clarity, it looks very good. You do have to get some active 3D glasses. So passive 3D is better in some areas, but the thing with the plasma TVs is that they have a much better motion clarity, and these reference monitors are supposed to be bright enough for that 3D. Okay, so that would be so cool, man. I would really like that. So let me know your thoughts and opinions, and if you have any questions.